starting off with the things that I don't like, and how much am I doing the things I don't like to do. Now, people could be like, I don't like to work, but like I've seen
Probably posted.
Yeah.
Elevate with Monique. Elevate. Elevate with Monique. Elevate.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today I have a guest who is one of my dear friends. This is Elisa Beagle. And really, I invited her today because we are talking about, and we've been talking about this whole inner child healing and connection. And I believe that what Elisa does in her professional life, also as an entrepreneur, kind of intertwines with the whole narrative of why it's so important for us to do our inner work in order to show up in the world and our community as just better versions of ourselves.
Right.
So I'm going to give a quick background of who Elisa is, and then I'm going to give her an opportunity to share with you in her words who she is and what she does. So Elisa Beagle is a licensed psychotherapist and a wellness entrepreneur. She is also a former professional athlete, which I don't think I knew that. She bridges the worlds of mental health and soulful leadership. She is a founder of Beyond Living Wellness, and she leads a group practice that offers culturally responsive therapy and integrative wellness services. She says that with a deep commitment to helping people return home to themselves, she uses her background in athletics, psychology, and holistic healing to guide her clients through trauma recovery, relationship growth, and personal expansion. All the things that align with Elect Elevation and what we do over here. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Elisa Beagle. What's up, friend?
What's up, friend?
How you doing? Thank you so much for being on another episode with me today. Share a little bit about who you are in your words, because I know I fumbled all over that.
I feel like you did a pretty good job. Essentially, like, just to translate, I love putting, like, allowing people to come home to themselves, because a big thing with me, with, like, I know my title is psychotherapist, but I feel like I'm just helping guide people back to who they are, essentially. And sometimes we never got a chance to really know who we are because of, our life experiences, constantly going through traumatic events and trying to survive, that we never got a chance to really identify who we are until we are understanding, like, hey, some of the things that I grew up knowing and understanding is just like programming.
Yeah.
And I'm not aligned with it. Like, I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like who I am sometimes. Where is this coming from? And then you're realizing, oh, okay, I'm a product of all the programming and experiences I've been. So, like, once we can uncover some of that, we can start to realize, who am I? What do I like? What do I love to do? What am I passionate about? Like, those kind of things that are really important as far as your, like, life satisfaction and life journey.
Yeah, you said programming, and that is something that I feel like I personally even went through as I was starting to challenge, like, my life and my thoughts, my beliefs, my my decisions, my outlook on life. I started to realize that a lot of what I was experiencing was programming. If somebody is unsure of, are they operating from a true sense of authenticity, like the beliefs, the morals, the values that they've created for themselves versus someone, their environment creating this narrative in their mind, how can you advise them to, like, challenge what that is, to figure out what really belongs to them versus what's not theirs and that they can release?
Okay, so how to separate, like, how do I know this is my programming that I came up in versus, like, what is authentic and real for me?
Yes.
Okay. So what I usually tell people to do is kind of just starting with basics, right? Is like, what are some of the things that you like to do? right? What are some of the standard things that feel good for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And start to break that down. Like, hey, I like to be outside. I like to, spend time with my friends. I like to. Okay, so one is like, are you doing some of those things? Like,
Mm-hmm.
or are you constantly in the rat race of life and kind of working and caught up with family and caught up with these things? Like, are you actually doing even some of the things you like to do?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're not, it's going to be a lot harder to understand who you are. Because the more you do the things you like to do, the easier it is to understand who you are in elements. So when I'm in nature, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about these things. I feel free. I feel liberated, and I feel energized.
Yeah.
And a lot more thoughts are going to come to me. Like, oh, let me think about the other things that make me feel free, energized, and liberated, right? And so starting with those things really helps set up the foundation for who am I?
Yeah.
Right? I'm someone that likes to be in nature, but also I am someone that likes to be just boundless in time. Like, I just like to feel like I just like to wanderlust. I like to feel like I can write my thoughts out and say, okay, well, have I given room for my free spirit nature?
Yeah.
So starting with the things that I like to do, also starting off with the things that I don't like, and how much am I doing the things I don't like to do? Now, people could be like, I don't like to work, but like, I think
probably most of us.
Yeah. But I think there's general. It's like, okay, well, why did you get the job that you got? Is that out of survival? Okay, cool. So how are we starting to build a foundation for transitioning to something more? What you kind of creating a mastery list of, okay, why do you think you like some of those things, right? Okay, oh, I like to feel free in nature. I like to walk. I like to move my body. Okay, so let's list some of these things. What are jobs? What are things that will allow you to feel free or have room or move your body? Or like, do you like to teach? Do you like to, help people? Like, what are the jobs that are aligned with that? Oh, okay, yeah, like we could probably start to build like, what are your transferable skills so we can get you into a job that you like, right? And so the other things you don't like to do. Okay, I don't like hanging out with my family, right? Because they don't make me feel good. They're negative. So why are you doing that? It's programming.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're supposed to be cool with our family. Like, but if you don't like the people in your family, then why are you hanging out with them?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, so there's a process of that. You're not just gonna say, I'm gonna
sort
my family out.
That'll free a lot of people.
Yeah. But I think essentially it's kind of like, so what don't you like about, what characteristics do they have that you don't like?
Yeah.
Oh, they're judgmental. They're small-minded. Okay, cool. So maybe you need to start spending more time with people that you feel like are open-minded or non-judgmental, or allow you to be more free and more of yourself. Because again, when you give more room to the things you do like and more of who you are, you're gonna find more. It's
like you'll attract that thing back to you. But I want to go back to another thing that you said a few minutes ago, and it's almost kind of foundational, and it's that notion of like survival mode. And here lately, it's interesting because that phrase has been thrown around so much, especially like in the times that we live in, and how people are, anxious way more than ever before. People are wondering about like what happens if they lose their job, or they're laid off, or all of these things. And it feels like there's this constant vibration amongst a lot of the collective in survival mode. So help me understand, like, staying in a survival mode mindset, how does that impact even just your quality of life every single day? Like, you're always thinking about what I need to do to survive. How does that impact your everyday life?
Oh man, it's
we talk about we talk a little bit about
being
this.
In survival mode like completely structures your whole nervous system. Right? Because your mind, your body is just like these vessels that are meant to help you survive at the highest rate possible. So it's going to adjust according to what you're doing. So if you're in a elongated state of stress, like experiencing chronic stress, your body's going to adapt to that stress and expansion for the stress that you're experiencing. And so when you talk about survival mode, is like your body isn't experiencing like a heightened state. like constantly. Like, okay, gotta go, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this. And it's like your nervous system's like this all the time.
All the time.
Right? And so what I have is a lot of people come to me and they're like, I have problems with sleeping. Like I can't sleep. And so I was like, okay, let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it is the problem is truly rest. So how that goes is rest is separate from sleep, right?
Correct.
Sleep is your body's natural response to the stress of the day, and like going into recovery.
Yeah.
But if your mind is not restful, it's gonna be hard to sleep.
Yeah.
Because your body's just not, you're not gonna go into the day, all of these things going on, and then like, all right, now I have to go to sleep.
Let me just go to sleep. Yeah. It's like your mind is still going and it's still processing or trying to offload or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so like a lot of times it's like the big problem is people are not getting sleep, and so they're staying in that heightened mode. So they wake up, they're feeling restless, and then they're going into their day with that same energy and just going over and over. And this is like years. So
repeated
now you're
cycle.
Yeah. And so now your body is just in that, used to being that stress heightened mode. So even when you do get to the point of rest and relaxation, the opportunity for it, it's hard to turn off.
Yeah.
Because now you have to reprogram your body and your mind to be in a more restful state.
Yeah, it's like unlearning the behavior. There's going to be resistance to that in order for you to start learning new behaviors that puts your body and your nervous system at ease.
Yeah.
It's not easy to unlearn that.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to do things where you have spaces of mindfulness, meditation, yoga, therapy, those things, because those things kind of do force you to stop and be in your body and understand how you're feeling.